What is popping, y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're continuing our trend of Springless, which is basically my version of Gravity Falls is Summerween, which is summer in Halloween in summer. We're doing Springmas, which is Christmas in spring. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Christmas, but I have watched a lot of Christmas movies, and it's April, so it's spring. So let's create a holiday, let's create a celebration for it, because I got nothing else. So today's Christmas movie is one that came out last Christmas, when I gave you my heart, and the very next day, you gave it away. And that is what it was like watching Red One. I went into this with a little bit of higher expectations, because it had Chris Evans, it had adult humor, it had J. Jonah Jameson, I forget his actor's name, J.K. Simmons. It had J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus. I went into this with phenomenal expectations. If you can't tell, I was let down, and not very easy either. It was like I was dropped from a 50-story building. So, without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say. Red One is a 2024 action comedy which is 2 hours and 3 minutes. 2 hours and 3 minutes longer than it should have been. And it has a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb and 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. When a villain kidnaps Santa Claus from the North Pole, an elf, the extremely large and formidable operative, joins forces with the world's most accomplished tracker to find him and save Christmas. So, basically, story. Quick rundown of that, because Google didn't do a very good job at explaining it. Santa Claus, Saint Nick, they're in, a place pretending to be Santa in like a mall. They then take off back to the North Pole. Captain America, or Chris Evans, picks up that little notification that Santa has come back to the North Pole because he's an expert tracker after, as a child, disproving Santa Claus is real to his family. And then he tells his buyer where Santa's located. Okay? Right, remember that. Remember that. His buyer then goes in and kidnaps Santa Claus. The Rock decides he's going to quit, because he doesn't want to do this anymore, because he's lost the spirit. He sees people as losing Christmas spirit, and it's just not as fun anymore. Santa then gets kidnapped. He fails to capture him. He then goes to find Chris Evans. He finds Chris Evans. They then go on a massive journey to try and find Santa and find who kidnapped him. They go to the buyer, which is somewhere in Hawaii, some like desert island. They find the buyer. Then it turns out that the buyer was working for another buyer who is an evil witch of Christmas, okay? Evil witch of Christmas, you might say. That already brings a plot hole, because that motherfucker will already know where Santa fucking lives. That bitch has had beef with Santa's brother, who is her ex, and also, she knows fucking Santa. Personally, they've had beef before, so the fact that she doesn't know where Santa is without Captain America's character is bizarre to me. But anyway, getting off topic, getting sidetracked, they then have to fight snowmen, which die if you pull their nose off. They then go and see Krampus, who didn't actually do anything, they just wanted to fill out the movie's runtime. Chris Evans gets captured by the evil witch, and this Krampus scene only sort of serves as filling the plot with a little bit more detail, bringing, Chris Evans and The Rock closer together as people, and showing an emotional change in their characters, which happens in 2 minutes because he flipped very quickly. His character flipped very quickly, because the reason that they're in the Krampus mess is because he stole, and he's still in his old ways. But as soon as The Rock was about to be captured and murdered, he decided to step in and change his ways, like a flip of a fucking switch, like a drop of the coin, like the drop of a hat, the flip of a coin. There we go, I got the saying right. Anyway, Chris Evans gets captured, and then The Rock's like, holy shit, they're at the North Pole, they never left. So after all this, they just go back to the North Pole, fight the elf, the witch, whatever you would like to call her, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. They defeat her, they win, they have a good Christmas, and The Rock decides he's gonna do the same thing again. He's gonna keep his job. That's it. That's it. That's the movie. CGI in this movie is upsettingly good. I'll give it that. The lack of J.K. Simmons upsetted me. He was marketed as Santa. He was in the trailer so much. He was in the promotional material as the front man. He was one of the front men in the posters and shit. So I expected a little bit more from him. But no, he spent half of the... Scratch that. He spent 3/4 of the movie asleep. 3/4 of the movie asleep. That's sad. That's upsetting. That's upsetting. The story felt pointless and was filled with plot holes, with the magic only working on some things. It couldn't bring a Wonder Woman doll, right? This is one of the main adult jokes seen in the trailer, the one that made me laugh, the one that made me want to watch this movie, because this one joke's, like, tickled my brain, was like, this movie's gonna be good. It wasn't. This one joke wasn't even played out how it was played out in the trailer, it was spread out. The punchline was, like, halfway through the movie, compared to the, like, first bit, which was at the, like, first quarter. It took a whole quarter of the movie for them to finish the joke. Also, if it can turn a rubber chicken into a real chicken, and back into a rubber chicken, why couldn't it turn a doll of Wonder Woman into a real person and then back into a doll? It may be unethical, but my point still stands. That shit should have worked. I just don't think The Rock wanted him to do it. That shit should have worked. I'm upset because it's just plot holes. There's so many plot holes. Like I mentioned earlier, the fact that he thought Santa wasn't real throughout the whole of this movie, or throughout the first part of this movie until being proven otherwise, okay? We have him not believing in Santa. But then Santa's real. Yeah. Like, fair enough, not believing till you see it, right? But surely, in a world where all these magical creatures exist, you should know that they exist, okay? Like, okay? Like, also, why do the parents buy gifts if Santa also delivers gifts? I don't get that. Like, I don't get that. Unless they just want their kids to have a little bit extra. Okay? Like, this movie is just... didn't think itself through very much. At all. Also, The Rock didn't play an elf, The Rock just played The Rock. Like, The Rock was just himself. As per usual. He's one of those actors that just plays himself in most movies. And I know that's a common complaint. I know a lot of people complain about that in movies and say The Rock is always just The Rock. But he didn't really do a lot of acting. I'm gonna be honest, his acting isn't the best. Chris Evans, it was nice to see him in a role that was less serious than Captain America. It was nice to see him have a little bit more fun, have a little bit more creativity, and a little bit more of a jokey character. Something less serious and less action-packed. And him not being the muscle for once was actually really interesting. Him not being the leader was really interesting. It was a different side of Chris Evans that I haven't seen before. And it just made his acting a little bit better, and it was very different from what he's done before, so it felt like a different character. It felt like he was actually acting, he was actually doing something. J.K. Simmons was an incredible Santa. He actually felt like he cared for his character, like, and he felt like he cared for being Santa. Like, he actually put effort in. The Rock didn't. The Rock just felt like The Rock, and I don't know how to put it. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but he didn't really do much. He didn't really do much. Like, he was the muscle. And again, it falls in the same trap as most Christmas movies do, where it's like, Christmas spirit saves the day. Christmas spirit. All you need is a little bit of Christmas spirit. Just have a little bit of Christmas spirit, and la-di-da, everything's fine and dandy. No, that shit doesn't work like that. It pisses me off. I don't like that sort of Christmas spirit shit. It's a boring plotline used in every Christmas movie. No matter what Christmas movie you watch, the end goal is to get everyone back on track with having the Christmas spirit. The fact that every Christmas movie starts off with people not having Christmas spirit. Why the fuck are people losing their Christmas spirit? Is it just because they get older? Because getting older means you care less about Christmas? I don't think so. I know loads of adults who still care about Christmas. They're painting adults as moody old fuckers. Most of them are, but that's besides the point. It makes being an adult look scary. Which it is, but not for those reasons. Honestly, I didn't like this movie. It's a little bit of a below average movie. Like, CGI was good, acting was mid, story was subpar. 4 out of 10. Fight me in the comments. That's my review. Take it or leave it.